So check it out, beloved. This is real important, okay? If you've been feeling out of nowhere like bouts of depression, right? You're all of a sudden your mood just shifts to something like negative, low vibrational, like you start to thinking that God left you and he abandoned you and he forgot about you and you just start your mind starts running and tells you that nothing's ever gonna happen for me, like nothing good ever happens for me. Like, beloved, get out of that energy. Do not sit in that energy because it's not yours. Okay? What you're feeling is the people that used to be connected to you, okay, that you walked away from, that you're no longer connected to. That's who you're feeling. Okay? People that have done you wrong that are now getting what was coming to them. That is what you're feeling. Okay? It is not you. It is not you. Okay? So don't start thinking. Basically, you're thinking the opposite of who you are. You're thinking the opposite of what you know to be true. Okay? And because those thoughts and feelings are coming up, you know for sure that they're not yours because you know better than that. Right? You know better than that. I felt it too. I felt it the other day heavily. Heavily, beloved. It to the point it felt like, look, check this out. The other day, it was so heavy on me, beloved, to where I started crying. I started, feeling depressed, like to the point where I was sitting and I wasn't doing anything, like a feeling of like giving up or whatever. But knowing, also at the same time knowing, in the back of my mind that hey, this is not my energy. This can't be my energy. Why? Because it's lying to me. It's telling me things that are opposite to what I know to be true. I know this is not my energy, right? And at the time when I was feeling it, the feelings were so great, they were so heavy, beloved, that I couldn't shake it off for a minute, right? Remember, we're empaths. We can, prophets are empaths by nature. We can feel everything. Everything. We feel the world around us like nobody's business, okay? Some of us are different, in a different category of empath, right? There's different categories, okay? Some of us are the higher empath, the supernova empaths, the all the different names for them, I don't know, but we're of the highest caliber, right? That's why we feel things on the level that we feel them, okay? So know that. You know that about yourself, then you can gauge all of these other things, okay, that try to come into your energy, right? And also people trying to astral project to check your temperature. Okay? The last person who tried to astral project in your energy, 3, 2, 1 on my timer, they got a rude awakening. They got a rude awakening. It's like their 5D self tries to come at you, and then your 5D self is standing right there. Right? Standing on guard with your sword drawn. Your sword engulfed in flames. Blue flames at that. That's the hottest flame. 3:45 on my timer, okay? That is your 5D self. That is your spiritual body protecting you. And the 5D, right? Along with your angelic protection. Beloved, remember, you are so much bigger spiritually. Right? So when people think that you're alone in the physical, right? And you may be alone in the physical, but spiritually, you are never alone. Spiritually, you always have. You got all of heaven's armies on your side. Think about that. Think about that. Look at the stars in the heavens and how vast they are. Sizes, brightness, all of that. Now think of having the hosts, the heavenly host of heaven backing you, protecting you. There is no limit to your protection. None. You have all of heaven's armies standing with you. 444 on my timer. For we are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses. Okay? At all times. So know that this energy is not yours. It's not yours. Do not sit in it. Okay? And another thing, oh, well, I was finishing what I was saying. At the time, the energy was so great. So it might be so great at times where, because these people's karma is so heavy, where you feel like you can't shake it off, right? But there will come a way of escape, so to speak, okay? There will come a way of escape, and you will be able to step outside of that, okay? So once I was able to actually, because at one point I wasn't able to shake it off, right? I wasn't able to get out of it, right? But that was only momentarily, of course, right? And it's a lesson in all of it, right? But as soon as, and this was a whole day, mind you, maybe a day and a half, that I had to feel this, right? And try to come up out of it. And I did, right? But it was a lesson in feeling that for the amount of time that I was feeling it, right? There's a lesson in that as well. 555 on my timer. But when I saw that open door of escape, right? It was like a moment of like, I can't explain. It was like a moment of, it was like a gap of relief, right? So when that gap came, I started to pray, right? And I lifted it up off of me. And beloved, when I prayed and lifted it up off of me, when I was praying, I felt the power of God. I felt it getting bigger and bigger, like growing in me till it pushed whatever I was feeling off of me. It pushed that heaviness off of me. And as soon as it came off of me, spiritually, I saw it was like all of these demons just hopped on me, right? All together at the same time. They just hopped on me and tried to pin me down, right? And as soon as I said that, the power threw them off of me, right? And I realized that as soon as that happened, I saw it in my mind's eye and that it was gone, right? So that's what's happening when you're feeling those feelings, right? Those are not yours. Those are projections from the people that used to be connected to you, okay? This is also a form of insight to let you know that what they're going through, to let you know that you're getting your karmic justice, okay? And these are times that we are allowed to feel these things so that we can decipher in between, right? We can decipher like, hey, this is not mine. I'm just feeling this, right? So in future references, you know better, right? You won't get stuck in it thinking that it's you, thinking that something's wrong, thinking that you did something wrong, right? You know what the truth is, okay? And for other people, I'm being led to say this right now. For other people who are having trouble gauging the two, spirituality and religion, okay? And I'm not talking about religious people, okay? There's a difference, right? People who always want to point out your sins and you know, they're holier than thou, but under cover of darkness, they're doing spell work against you. They're gossiping and trying to come against you because they don't understand who you are, okay? For those people that are having trouble gauging the two and going back and forth between the two, let me give you this right here. Both the religion and spirituality is one and the same. There's no separation. There's no separation. As above, so below. There's no separation between the two. Right? There's the world's religion, right? And there's true religion, which includes spirituality. They are not separated. That's like the 3D and the spiritual realm, right? In the 3D, to human beings, it's separated because we can't see it with our naked eyes, with our human eyes. But those who are awakened, those who are aware of who they are, that can see that our spiritual gifts are awakened, there's no separation for us, right? Because we know that the spiritual is the real realm. The spiritual is the most real than anything else in creation, okay? Everything came from the spiritual realm into the physical. Spiritual first, physical second, right? The physical reality is the creation of the spiritual. It's a mirror, right? Just a watered down mirror, right? A less holy mirror, if you get what I'm saying, right? That's like just like in heaven, right? Everything you see on this earth, it's in heaven as well, right? But it's a holy version, a heavenly version. Down here is the earthly version, the secular version. Okay? So you don't have to go back and forth in your mind, like fighting, right? Because that's what's happening on the inside of you. You're fighting back and forth, right? Like you're learning these things about who you are, right? About spirituality, and some of them are things that you've always been told and taught that were evil, right? Maybe you were taught that something that you're learning or that you're figuring out about yourself, the world deems to be evil, right? But you know that God is showing you this. You know that God is waking you up and leading you to learn these things, right? Learning something doesn't mean that that's necessarily what you believe, right? Or that's necessarily what you operate in. It is good to know a little bit about everything, right? I'm not saying go to 11:11 on my timer. I'm not saying go dive into dark arts and dive into this and that. No, it's not what I'm saying. But to learn about everything is essential to you, right? Know a little bit about precept upon precept, basically, right? A little here, a little there, right? You want to be knowledgeable about all things, right? About all things that are connected, all things that surround you. You want to be knowledgeable about it because in turn, it's all connected, period. It's all connected, okay? And everybody has a different job in the body of Christ. I don't care what people want to call it. I hear people a lot of times say a higher power. I mean, you can say that, but you might as well say the highest power, okay? Because it's the Most High God, right? No matter what you want to call it, I call it what it is. Okay? Names are important. 12:12 on my timer. Names are important. Period. Period. Look at your name. Your destiny is written in your name, in your birth. Your birth date, time, it's written. Your journey is written. It's encoded all around you. 1, 2, 3, 4 on my timer. Your job is to unlock that coding. And the more that you learn, the more that you grow, the more that you ascend, that coding unlocks. The things that have been lying dormant in you, they're activated and they're unlocked. Right? Your DNA is changing every day. Right? From this earthly type DNA to your original state, which is that of God. You come from the stars. We come from the stars. Okay? Just like Jesus has a star, and we call the North Star, that's his star. And that's why it shines the brightest in the sky, because that is his star. We all have a star that is in the heavens. So the stars that you look up at, those are also people from past lives, who's already lived before, who've done what they were supposed to do, what they were sent here for, and they went back home. And they help watch over us, guide us, and protect us to this day. Right? You have a star in heaven that is in heaven right now. Right? And the more you advance, the brighter your star gets. You get what I'm saying? So, just a little info. Alright? Didn't expect to say all that, but hey, somebody need to hear it. 14:04 on the timer. 1:44. Alright? Alright. I'll holler at y'all later. Love y'all. Peace.